thanks a million for coming along this evening. It's a very good turnout. I think most importantly for myself at this meeting is to thank everyone in the room who did in any way, shape or form support the campaign that we ran. It was, as Emer said, Dublin Bay North was the group of death. There was 20 candidates. I think just everyone over particularly the last 6 months in particular, who took a leaflet, who delivered leaflets in their own areas, who took a window poster or even had the madness to actually accept a garden poster or poster fixed to their front door, their house with my big head in it. People who came out canvassing, people who did whatever they did, shared a post of ours on Facebook, who actually said, well, people for profit in this area is the way to go and I'm the candidate to vote for. I think we should be awfully proud of the campaign that we ran. We performed better than any other of the left-wing independent candidates in the election, and I think we've a lot to build on in the times ahead. To be honest though, I was trying to think of what exactly would I say tonight, because we didn't win a seat, but we didn't lose, and there are a lot of positives, but I think we should reckon, I think it's, as a human being, you should say you're disappointed not to take the seat. I'd like to win. We were part of a great campaign. We thought we had a very good chance of taking the seat. But just looking at the people we were up against, there was about 5 of us going for the last 3 seats, because there was a Fine Gael seat there, there was a Fianna Fáil seat there, Richard Rupert and Sean Hawley respectively. But the other 3 seats were up for grabs. And I think 2 of the 3 who took those seats have been TDs for at least 10 years, one Tommy Brown for over 20 years, and so they've built up a solid base and level of support. And I think people for profit coming from just the one councillor in the widest area, there's 3 local electoral areas that make up the general election constituency. I think it just shows we weren't surprised at the level of support we're getting because of the work we've done on the ground, basically in the water charge campaign in the main, but also being the only political force out there that's trying to get some action on housing. Housing is becoming more atrocious by the day. We're the ones really pushing repeal of the 8th Amendment. We're the ones saying like something has to happen with our health system. It's in dire crisis. So I think even despite the fact that we were coming from a low base, we performed unbelievably well, and we're close to taking the seat. I think it's just a reflection of where this country is actually going. And I think the re-election of Richard Boyd Barrett and the election of Gino Kelly for the first time and Brig Smith points in that direction. We've tripled our Dáil representation. And I think people want to see a major change in a more progressive direction. They want to see women having the right to choose. They want to see a public health system that's universally available to all, free at the point of access and funded through progressive taxation. People want to ensure that they have access to water and that it's funded adequately through, again, progressive taxation. The people want, and I think will demand over the next period of time through direct action, I think out in Clr and out in Cork, down in Cork too, that they have a right to a home. It's not a luxury that will be in 5-10 years time given to you by the market if you pay obscene amounts of money to get it and pay your the next 40 years through a mortgage. I think these are things that people want to see happen, and I think people for profit along the anti-austerity lines and some of the left-wing independents are, I think, representative of that, of where Ireland is going. We have a job of work to do. I think in this area, there's a lot of positives to take from the amount of people who came around us during the campaign, the number of number 1 votes we got, and the overall vote total that we received in the campaign was magnificent. It really was. It was humbling to see it. The amount of people who, I know we didn't get to every door in the constituency. It's the biggest constituency in Dublin, so we physically couldn't get to every door. But there's a couple of lessons that I think I've learned from the campaign, one of which is to ask every single person you meet to join. It's not about people for profit being this group over here, and they'll put up the posters and they'll knock on the doors and we have all the answers. It's as Emer suggested in our opening remarks, is that we'll have an open discussion this evening to see what we can do, what ideas we have, that together we can build a progressive movement in the times ahead. I think that's hugely important. I think it is to actually ask every single person who may have a question. I was told 2 days ago that I lost a lot of votes because you're the fella that wants to let in all the refugees. And I said, okay, and I asked, well, what reasons were they? Because a few people said it to my face, and we had a good discussion to say we can't house our own, and now you're looking to accept 10, and I was proposing 20,000. We have obligations, in UN charters to accept people fleeing from war and who are seeking refuge. So we need to have these discussions about, well, how do you think denying people fleeing war is somehow going to help those who are currently homeless or living in our kind of accommodation here in Dublin or down in Cork or over in Galway? Power doesn't work like that. As in, do you know, Alan Kelly, the Minister for Housing, or the outgoing Minister, thankfully, for Housing, isn't going to decide after he denies refuge to 10,000 refugees from Syria, Afghanistan, and Iraq to go, well, actually, now I think I'll build some social houses for the people who are currently homeless. It doesn't work like that. The demand for housing for people currently living here is combined with the fact that we should accept a huge number of refugees into this country, because we have the capacity, we have the wealth, we just don't have the political will. I think what People for Profit represents is a part of that political will that actually wants to treat human beings as human beings with decency and respect. That's what we're about, you know. So, but in order to build a movement that can uproot the likes of Sean Haughey in this area, that can, you know, have a major advance the next elections, whenever that be, in the next period of time, it means we need more people involved. And I can be pretty shy at times in asking people to do things for us. And those days have to be gone, because we need everyone. We need people in Baldoyle, in Sutton, in Holt, down in Marino, in Fairview, Dooneycarney, Coolock, Kilmore, Darndale, Belcamp, everywhere. We need people who would be willing to take leaflets to come to regular meetings with us, because it's together discussing what we want to see happen in this society. That's how we actually create that society. It's by all of us coming together. So, whilst, you know, there is a natural element of disappointment that we're not going to be in there with Gino and Richard and Bree, I think we have a huge amount of work to do, and I think we can use the platform that they're going to give us by tripling our dog representation to really push People for Profit out there and to really challenge the mainstream parties in this area. So we have a massive job of work in relation to housing, particularly, but also I think repeal the 8th Amendment, we need to have a good discussion around how best we can make that issue become one of the major issues for the next government. I know Richard and Gina will talk about if we're actually going to have a government or not, what the likelihood of that is. And also, I think the one major one that we've all been involved in over the last couple of years, and the one that if we do see a victory on could change everything, it is the water charges. We need to see the abolition of the water charges. Richard made the point outside the Dáil last week, because actually it's an issue of democracy. The fact there's a majority of TDs now in the 32nd Dáil who actually stood on a platform of the abolition of water charges. So they need to respect the mandate given to them by the electorate and actually force the abolition of the water charges. So, as I say, the main thing I wanted to say this evening, and it's great to have 2 of our 3 newly elected MPs here, it was just to say a heartfelt thanks to everyone, because like, there were some days where it was just amazing to see the number of people coming out to put up posters or to take the leaflets, and that's how you create, you know, a real movement that can actually, in the times ahead, you know, I think clear out the political establishment and truly, I think, create a society that does put people for profit. So again, that's all I wanted to say. Is thank you all. Thanks for coming here this evening, and on we go. Thank you.